Hi everyone, this is Gordon again, and last week I released a video on commercial awareness talking about how law firms adopt different strategies to attract clients and who is their competitors, etc. And that video drew a lot of attention from you guys, so I think it's good for me to actually make another video on commercial awareness. Today, I'm going to talk about law firm salary. Wait, before you switch to another video, when it comes to law firm salary, people always focus on how one firm pays better than the other firm, etc. But it's more than that. Actually, how a firm remunerates their lawyers reflects their culture. You can actually distinguish one firm from another firm by understanding the remuneration system they use, and potentially you can put it in your application form as well. So recently I read a news from Legal Cheek. They're talking about how law firms have been paying bigger paycheck to lawyers this year specifically. It actually tells us one thing that just happened this year, the city pay war. What is the city pay war? Basically, it's about this. Freshfield was the first Magic Circle firm that raised the salaries of newly qualified solicitor from $85,000 to $100K. And then afterwards, almost all other Magic Circle firms followed suit and raised the salaries of their NQ lawyers to over $100K as well. And other Silver Circle firms like Herbert Smith and Archers also raised the salaries to over $100K again. Well, so something happened. Why suddenly all the firms raised the salary of the lawyers to over 100K. What are they actually doing? In recent years, US firms have been taking a significant market share in the London legal market, and they have been hiring aggressively from the UK law firms. In 2017, almost 109 partners from the UK firm left and joined the US law firms in London. Associates in the US law firm have traditionally been paid more than the associates in London law firms. And the situation becomes even worse after 2016 because the New York titan Griffith Swain Moore raised the salaries of first year's associates to $145K. And other US firms after that followed suit and raised the salary to over $100K and even more. And additionally, there's a general understanding that US law firms usually have a more flexible remuneration systems compared to the UK law firms, so that associates or partners could potentially earn more money. And this brings me to the comparison between two remuneration systems, which is Lockstep system and also Eat What You Kill system. I mean, some of you guys might wonder, what are you actually talking about? But I would explain it one by one. Traditionally speaking, most Magic Circle firms have a remuneration structures that lock your pay to your years of experiences. Your remuneration will be based on your seniority. That means you will be rewarded according to how long you have worked at this particular firm. Magic Circle firms like Slaughter and May and Linklaters comply with a stricter version of Lockstep model. US firms like Cleary, David's Polk, and That Voice also comply with a more pure Lockstep model compared to other US law firms. Griffith, Swain and Moore, and also Watchtower, those are famous New York law firms, also use a more Lockstep approach to remuneration. Basically, under a Lockstep system, the partners is like climbing the ladder, and they will move along the ladders at a very steady speed and a very certain speed as they stay in the firm for a longer period of time, irrespective of their actual performances. As long as the partner reaches the highest level of the Lockstep, he will stay there until retirement, and he will get that maximum amount of payment. So for example, based on statistics in 2015, Linklaters adopts a pure Lockstep model. Typically, it takes about 10 to 12 years for an average Linklaters partner to reach the highest level of the Lockstep. So it brings me to the advantages of the Lockstep system. Generally speaking, a Lockstep system will create a more collegial or harmonious work culture. It also fosters loyalty between the lawyers, and also it will have more certainty in terms of the progression of the partner's salary. And more importantly, it will foster a sense of sharing and also teamwork among the firms rather than competitions among the lawyers, because at the end of the day, you will get paid the same based on your seniority. You don't need to be worried that your clients will be taken away by another lawyer, so you can refer your clients to someone who is more capable to do the job. you would think in the best interest of the client and also the firm as well. And more interestingly, when you look at the recruitment website in Slaughter and May and also Dapper Voice, you can actually see that they advertised their remuneration system and pitched it to you guys to say that they have a more collegial culture based on the Lockstep system. But there are also some drawbacks of a pure Lockstep model. For example, it may create inefficiency. It's very difficult to identify underperformers in a Lockstep model because some people, they may think that they don't need to work as hard as other people because they will get paid the same anyway. It kind of make them a little bit lazier possibly. And at the same time, some star performers or high performing partners will not be satisfied with that because they work so hard but they still get paid the same. They would rather go to some firms that reward their efforts. So that brings us to another remuneration model, which is called Eat What You Kill. What does that mean? Well, basically under an Eat What You Kill model, a lawyer is remunerated based on performance rather than seniority. They will reward you for the number of clients you bring into the firm. So some of the key advantages of the Eat What You Kill model is this. Firstly, you're able to retain those star lawyers and high achieving lawyers because they will be attracted to this kind of salaries you offer to them. And secondly, you also encourage the lawyers in your firm to work harder and to be a little bit more competitive. So this kind of culture will probably be more suitable for someone who is more entrepreneurial in nature. At the end of the day, it also helps with the overall financial performance of your firm because people are encouraged to work harder and they will be able to generate more profits potentially. In London, there's a very successful example of the Eat What You Kill system, and which is adopted by the firm Kirtland and Ellis. There's so many news talking about how Kirtland and Ellis has been building the most expensive team of star lawyers in the UK legal history. And in the past years, Kirtland has been hiring those high-performing private equity partners from Magic Circle firms like Freshfields. When you look at the salaries and amount of money paid to those star lawyers, they have been valued like a Hollywood celebrity or a professional athlete. It's like the Golden Warriors in the NBA or even like the Avengers. I hope it's a good comparison. But anyway, you know what I mean. They have been building a really strong group of talented and star lawyers. However, one of the key disadvantages of the Eat What You Kill model is that it will foster a less cooperative and more competitive workplace environment. One of the classic examples of the failure of this model is the US law firm Dewey LaBeouf. That law firm filed for bankruptcy in 2012. Part of the reason, arguably, was that they adopt a pure Eat What You Kill system. So when the law firm's revenue fell off, all the partners left because they were not being compensated for what was promised for them by the law firms. So it's very easy for partners who lack loyalties under a complete pure Eat What You Kill system to leave the firm. It also discourages internal referral among lawyers. Because at the end of the day, if you bring in a client for the firms, you don't want that client to be taken away by another lawyers in the future. You want to keep that clients, establish personal individual relationship with the clients. So because of the competitive atmosphere, you're more likely to hire information or high knowledge. And this also brings me to the third remuneration model. I talk about the Lockstep approach, I talk about the Eat What You Kill approach. But sometimes most firms, they are always in between these two approaches. They try to figure out a more mixed or like middle ground. So this approach is usually called the modified Lockstep approach. They try to use a combination of seniority and also merit-based consideration to consider how much a lawyer should be paid so that they could preserve the collegiality of the firm while also encourage lawyers to work harder. Law firms usually use a bonus system to reward the star lawyers. So for example, Freshfield would move away from the pure Lockstep approach and adopt a more merit-based approach. And in the same year, Clifford Chance also introduced the use of super points to reward the high-performing lawyers. Originally in Clifford Chance, a partner could possibly reach the maximum level of 100 points, but after the introduction of the super points, they could potentially reach 115 or 130 points if they perform really well. However, they could also be reduced to 70 points, for example, if they perform really badly. And notably, other international law firms like Arshers, Hogan Lovells and Herbert Smith have also been using a more mixed or modified lockstep approach in order to remunerate their lawyers. So those are the three approaches I want to talk about in relation to remuneration. I remember in my first round of training contract application, I actually put some of the differences in remuneration system in the firms I applied to, and actually I got past the application stage. I hope you guys enjoy this video, and if you like this video, press the like button and also subscribe to my channel. Also check out the last video I talked about regarding commercial awareness and law firm strategies. Many people told me that video was really useful for them, even in terms of preparing for their application, so I think you should check that out. I just want to let you know I will post very regularly every Wednesday or Thursday. At least I try to adhere to this schedule. Well, I do hope that you guys keep checking out my videos and subscribe to my channel so that to support what I'm doing, because I really need a lot of time to prepare for this kind of video, which is so informative. And although I have this existing knowledge about this aspect of law firm, but still I need to prepare a lot in order to articulate them in an accurate, and at least I try to articulate them in an accurate way. So I will see you guys next time. Bye.